We're live.
How are you?
We're live again. We're back.
We're back. 2 from 2.
Yeah. It's good. I think.
I,
Go ahead.
I think we're exhibiting here that we don't understand our audience at all by going live at the exact time that the Nuggets and the Lakers are tipping off.
Yeah. I think Sunday. So Sunday nights are going to be that way, especially for Americans.
Yeah.
Just because. Sharing this out here. But because of Sunday night football and all that. But what I will say is you could chime in and listen to two nice blokes have a chat while you watch, the first part of the game here.
Maybe we should just call the game.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, we might be when it comes to the Super Bowl or it comes to the NBA Finals, we might.
It's not a bad idea.
We might have to just sit here and just talk shit and watch the game. And speaking of which, I guess it's a prime time for us to chime in. We've got some folks from Australia. Mr. Alan McKee from Victoria there.
Welcome.
Sharing some things out. Welcome. Yeah, anybody who, by the way, yes, you guys sucked last week at telling us where you were from. So a lot of people watch this. There's like 5 or 6 or 7 people watching it right now. Just comment in the comment section and let us know where you're watching from. If you're in the States, what state are you from? If you're in another country, what country are you from? If you're in Australia, what state are you in Australia? That's all we want to know. Don't be a lurker.
Speaking of where you're from and where I'm from, I realized something. This is off topic where you're going. I know where you're going, but we'll get there. I realized something over the weekend about your part of the world and my part of the world. We have something in common.
Well, we got a lot in common. That's kind of how we got here. But yeah, go ahead.
But there's one thing that we have in common, and that is that because you're about what? You're about 40 minutes out of Louisville?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
So in your part of the world, you have your biggest horse race, your country's biggest horse race, and here in Melbourne, we have our country's biggest horse race.
That's very true. Ours happens to be the biggest in the world. Yours is the biggest in Australia.
Our horse race stops the nation. That's the thing. Does yours stop the nation?
Yeah, for 3 minutes. Here's the thing. So I'm probably going to piss off a bunch of people from Australia right now, but I'm A-okay with that, right? So let's be real, right? What outside of the grand final in AFL?
Yeah.
What else do y'all have there? People are like, oh, let's actually get together and come and watch this and let's make plans when it comes to sports.
The horse race, Melbourne Cup.
Okay, that's it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you could say the NRL grand final.
We've got NFL. We've got NBA. We've got Major League Baseball. We've got MLS. We've got NHL. We've got college basketball. Even with all of that, it's still massive. It's massive. So if that's all we had, then we have America. You guys use it. Let's be honest. And if anybody's from Australia and you disagree with me, I would love to hear from you in the comment section. But yes, you guys shut things down. Horse race. But that's because you guys
we get a holiday. We get a holiday for our horse race.
It gives you guys a read because no one will show up to work the next day.
I would say enough people would stop and watch the Formula One Grand Prix. We have that.
Yeah, but we have that too.
In Kentucky,
we got stuff everywhere.
NASCAR, like you can't drive around in a circle. Come on. Where's the skill?
We have F1 here. We have F1 here. We have multiple races here.
We have But we're talking about Melbourne. We have the Australian Open. We stopped for the Australian Open final.
We got the
everyone. Wait, you won't find for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks in the year, you won't find an empty tennis court in this city. Only for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Then the next day they're empty.
Yeah. You are not stopping everything you're doing. You are not making plans around the most
Australian Open final.
The Australian Open final. You might.
Yeah, the final.
Yes, we have those things that happen every day.
It's a 2-week tournament.
It happens every weekend. Like we like. I'm not. This is not me being an arrogant American. This is saying,
wow,
we have.
That's up for debate.
We have so many other things.
Can I've just done a little Google search. So, if you win the 2020 Kentucky Derby, you take home $1.86 million. If you win the Melbourne Cup, you take home $4.4 million. So which horse race would you rather win?
Okay. So this conversation is getting ready to get real interesting. Okay. And probably a little bit PG-13. So how much did you make in Australia dollars? 4 million?
4.4 million. 4.4 million.
4.4.
Do the conversion.
9, so it's double. It's double in money.
So twice as good. Okay, so our race is twice as good.
Okay. Okay. Average stud fee.
Just now we're getting to the nitty gritty.
Yeah,
we're digging down. We're digging down.
Average.
Let's have all right. What about this?
What I want to stop. Okay. I want to know what the average stud fee is for a winner. I want to know what the average stud fee is for the Melbourne Cup winner. And then I want to know what the average stud fee is for, because let me tell you something. Whole different world. When you think they'd be getting bigger prize money then for all the money that they're forking out. We have remember there's 3 races. You guys only have 1.
No. We have the Spring Racing Carnival. We have about 6 races.
We got races we got 14 races a day.
Oh yeah, we have that too. But ones that matter. The Spring Racing Carnival. We have Caulfield Cup. No. The Derby Day, Cox Plate, Oaks Day, Melbourne Cup, Stakes Day. It's we're talking 100,000 people at all of them. Every one. Maybe not 100, but we get about 120, I think, to the Melbourne Cup, and we get anywhere from 70,000 to 100 for all the others, I'd say. God, this turned into a pissing contest real quick.
That's right.
I was trying to say that we had something in common, and the first thing you say is ours is better. I mean, huge. Right.
We do have something in common, but you said no. You threw the jab and said
no.
Yeah, but ours shuts down the we get a holiday.
That was well into the conversation. Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So size to size, they get it in Victoria. You guys get a holiday, right? In Kentucky, we get a holiday.
Okay.
So it's on a Saturday, but then they have the Oaks and other races that run on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah,
you're not going to get anybody. You're not going to get anybody to work.
Yeah, that's like ours. Ours is on a Tuesday, so
I've been there.
Yeah,
I've been there during the Melbourne Cup. I've been there during the F1 at Albert Park. I've been there during the Australian Open.
Kentucky Derby is run on. Is that run on sand? No, but like the track is it grass or sand?
No, dirt.
It's on dirt. Yeah. Dirt. I mean, the groundskeeping fees at Flemington to grow the grass to make the. Think about that cost. That's
we literally have like our own genetic version of grass, Kentucky bluegrass. Like we literally that might be what they actually run on in Melbourne.
I doubt it.
If I find out that's what they run, if I find out if I find
Okay.
out, oh, if I find out that's
You
what
got a
they
week.
run on.
You got a week to find out what grass we run on.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
if I find out,
But tell me about gambling in sport in America, right? It's illegal, correct?
well, so not anymore. So the
Okay.
laws changed. Now
Mm,
it's still illegal in most sports or in most states.
most states
I think there's only 5 or 6 right now. It's federally legal, but
legal,
the states
right?
are still coming around because they're trying to get up the systems in place for it. So,
Right.
what's kind of weird, and I'm kind of curious to see what happens coming out of this. But you're familiar with Buffalo Wild Wings. It's like a chain, like you go in, you get wings and that kind
Oh
of
yeah,
thing. The
yeah, yeah,
restaurant.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they were one of the big companies that were going to bring it into their store, into their restaurants. It's a sports bar,
Right.
right? So you go and you
Mm-hmm.
sit in, but we don't
Mm-hmm.
have things like Tab that they have, like you guys have or New Zealand has, where it's just a place like it's like
You just got to bet. It's a
it's an office. You just
gambling,
walk in, you go to the grocery store, and then walk across the street and go place your bets and
and
go
just
in.
give your money away.
Yes, I've never seen anything like that. I'll be honest with you. It
Yeah,
concerned me a little bit. I
yeah.
stayed away from it because I was like, this doesn't seem like.
Nah.
But
Well,
I
the
did
culture
find
of
out what
sports
they
betting
used
is
the money
changing.
for. Yeah, I did find out what they used the money for. So it does go to the communities and help.
Wow.
Well,
a lot of
in
it.
New
A lot of it
Zealand, it
goes to them.
does.
A lot of it
That's how
goes to
they
them.
fund their sport. In New Zealand, is how they fund their sport.
Yeah, yeah. I think that certainly happens here. You know, um, yeah, poker machines and things like that. And the
Yeah.
government taxes it pretty heavily as well. But
So what will happen
yeah,
here is online betting, right? So you
which
got
is what,
things like
yeah.
FanDuel and things like that, and
But that's, oh yeah, is FanDuel is fantasy
no,
sports, right?
no. They got they have fantasy sports,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, no, it's a yeah. I'm not a
Because
gambler.
mm,
I never have. Only time I've ever gambled in my life was at a casino in Auckland, New Zealand,
right,
and I'll actually share that story. So we went over there. I had some cash when I traveled, and I we had a really successful trip, a long trip. I think we were there 2.5 weeks. It was, and we ended in Auckland. I took the guys that were with me. We went to, they have a real nice Italian restaurant there in the casino in Sky City, and we went and had a big time spread and a good feed. And I was like, hey, because again, I'm sure it'll come up multiple times, but there wasn't a lot of leisure time on our trips when
mm,
I would come, and it wasn't like my guys were, contrary to what their spouse may have thought, they weren't going out to the bar. They weren't. We just didn't. We were there for business. It was business.
yeah, yeah,
So we didn't have anything going on. We were leaving the next day, and I was like, man, let's if you guys want to, spend a little bit of money at the casino, I'm more than happy to go and hang out, and I'll stay out with you guys for a little bit instead of just going back to the room. I'll stay out and just kind of watch and observe. So
mm,
I had 200 New Zealand dollars that I had converted over that I still had on me in cash. So I am a man of patterns. So ADHD allows me to kind of see patterns and kind of see things as they happen, and I can predict things in my head, and then I can see it play out, and then I can kind of do deductive reasoning and all of that. It's not really a science behind it that I've necessarily studied, but I can do it. I can just prove that I can do it. Right. So
mm,
I was like, man, I don't play cards. I don't know. I mean, I know 21. I know blackjack, but I don't know it like that. So I became fascinated by the roulette wheel. And I was like, oh, well, like red, black, like this can't be. So then but what they do, and I didn't realize this, they have those boards where they show you at each table what's winning.
mm.
So I was like, let me see. I would play red here. Boom. It would come up red. I would be like, I would play red here again. Boom. Like I would play black. Boom. I was like, oh, wait a second, because I'm looking at all of them. I'm like, oh, this is easy. So I start playing. And I lose a little bit. I win a little bit. I'm up like, I don't know, $100. So I got like $300. I figure it out. I'm going back and forth. I'm up $400, right? So we're leaving, right? We weren't there an hour and a half. And one of the guys who with me is not very, not much of a risk taker. So we do this, and I was like, man, I'm on my way out. I walk by a table. Nobody's really there, but I can see the last ones, and I was like, black is gonna win. That's like, guys, because I did the conversion like at $400, but it wasn't like 400 American dollars. It was 400 New Zealand dollars. It was like 65, cents on the dollar for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm betting it all. I'm gonna just bet it all on one roll. And they were like, no. You can't, like, no, Shane, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that. I'm like, no, I'm literally up. Like, I have nothing to lose here. Well, yeah, you could lose the money. I'm like, no, losing $140 on or making, 600 is a whole different ball game here.
Yeah.
So I go to do it. He pulls his phone out. First of all, you can't film the table. Second of all, they have like this plexiglass wall that goes around, and he's leaned up on the plexiglass wall right as she's about to drop the ball. And she turns around and she's like, you need to back up and you can't touch the table. I'm like, dude, you're about to cost me. I'm like, so now I'm pissed.
Yeah, because it's changed everything now. He's just changed the flow.
Yes. I roll with it. I hit. Grab my money, go cash out, walk out. Easy money. Easy money. So that's the only time I've ever gambled in my life. And that's how you gotta, like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, it's a slippery slope. Just like, because the only time of the year we would bet would be on the Melbourne Cup. Even as kids, my parents would throw a bet. And I remember even at the age of 5, losing the Melbourne Cup and just thinking, let's go again. Let's go again. as a little kid, going, this is bullshit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just like, it's in us to just want to keep going. It's dangerous.
Yeah, what's that dopamine?
So I just stay away from it. Stay away. And it's too easy now with the apps, man. And the things you can bet on, in sport. First bucket, first goal. They give you
10 points.
Yeah, who's winning at halftime? Yeah,
who wins
it's
the
just
tip?
like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. I don't like. I mean, I'm definitely a sports fan. What in the world? Could you hear that?
No.
Oh, well, okay. I could hear it. I'm sure the listeners probably heard it. It sounded like an NFL football game kicking on. I found it, though. I guess it randomly started playing on a tab I had. So yeah, I'm a fan, but I'm not like, I don't have time to like study and all that. And to be honest, I'd much rather just bet on myself. Like, I'll roll the dice and run some Facebook ads and see if I can generate some revenue.
Yeah.
That's just how it's.
Well, I know. Well, when we launched our bodybuilding documentary last year about Chris Cormier, that's what it was like. It was like, put $50 on a Facebook ad and let's see how much money we make in a few days. I was a junkie for 3 months. That's all I did. That's all I was doing. Like from the time I got out of bed to the time I went to bed, it was like gambling. I'm just like watching the Facebook ad, watching the Amazon sales. Yeah, I think so. Look, whether we won by enough. I mean, we're still getting sales now, and I'm not spending anything, so it's hard to know. How much
directly correlated to it.
Yeah.
I want to know who's watching this. Who in Blue Blazers is watching this? Because I've seen some of my friends share this out. Davin probably shared it and then took it down as soon as he did because he done.
I shared it. Well, I shared the link.
We've got some people watching. I want to know who's watching. So while I'm sharing this out, Mark Smilo. Mark Smilo, a good friend of mine. music business friend of mine, great guy. Actually, you listen to 90s hip hop?
Yeah, I listen to 90s hip hop.
You remember the group Junior Mafia? Biggie,
Not that much
Little
90s hip hop.
Kim.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
all
yeah.
in a group.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark was their manager.
Yeah, wow.
Wit.
Let's get him on. Let's get him on.
Thanks for Mark will come on. Mark, if you want to hop in the show and meet my Australian friend Davin, let me know. Hey, see, he'll love it. He actually might do this because he might be like, look, Shane, I'm moving to Australia. These kids will get out of the house. I'm gone. Like, I'm rolling. If he beats me to Australia, there's a problem.
We had 11 today, 11 COVID cases. We've almost snuffed this thing out. 11.
I saw where they're expecting the largest migration of Victorians out of the state as soon as restrictions are lifted.
Yeah, well, if they all go to Sydney, apparently in the news today as well, there was a cab driver who drove his cab for 9 days while infectious. 9 days.
I mean,
just think about that.
There's a barrier. There is a barrier.
I don't know. Is there?
Yeah, there's like a plex. It's been so long since I've been in a cab. I Uber it whenever I go.
Yeah, but New York cabs are different to Sydney cabs.
Sydney cab? Oh, Sydney cab. No, I've not ridden in a cab in Sydney.
Yeah, I don't know. You're in a confined space, breathing the same air. I don't know, man. There's a reason why people got onto a plane healthy and then got off with COVID.
Or a cruise ship.
Yeah, or a cruise ship. I don't know. Yeah. There are people that want to leave Melbourne. I don't know why you would leave when we've got it under control. Why wouldn't you leave at the beginning? I don't know. It seems to stick it out this long and then get the hell out of here.
So
anyway,
I gave you a task.
You did give me a task.
Hopefully you've done your research, sir. And
I have. Look,
it's kind of jacked up because now you've had a chance to watch 2 weeks of teams play and check scores.
I have, but the one thing I haven't been able to do is see a game with who I think is going to be my team, the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're playing tomorrow.
Oh, then just pick them. If you can
I want to see them play. I want to see them play. They want to know. They want to know. Someone sucks more than them, whoever they beat.
Yes. Hey, you know what? Some poor sap 30 years ago was dating Jennifer Aniston too, and you don't know who he is.
Brad Pitt?
No, he's not still dating her anymore. Nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
So he was 1-0.
Well, the Raiders brand have won 3 Super Bowls. So they got winning in them. It's there. It's in their DNA.
In their DNA?
Yeah. It's a winning brand.
Then pick
So who's your team? I need one more day.
Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis Colts.
If it's not the Raiders, who's it going to be?
Well, I kind of like the. No, I do. I've always liked the name Ravens. So Baltimore.
Oh shit.
Well, I can't just pick one of the big teams, can I? I can't just pick Dallas, or I can't just pick.
The Ravens are gonna. They have
Green Bay Packers.
They have the returning MVP, maybe the best player in the league. They
went
undefeated last year, nearly in the season,
and then they lost.
Golly.
Yeah, they beat Houston.
What in the world is going on?
What's taking your attention there, Shane? What are you looking at?
I'm sharing out, trying to get some people to actually watch this absolute train wreck. So there's an interesting article that I shared with you.
When? Just now.
No. Over the week. Do you remember?
No.
And you said, "Oh, we've definitely got to discuss this on air."
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did. That's right. Sorry, I thought I was looking at email. Yeah, you shared it with me on Messenger. Yeah.
So for the people that don't know what we're talking about, I'm going to read this. In 2006, an anonymous post on the Flat Earth Society forum.
Credibility right there.
Yeah, let me tell you, these are science-backed geniuses right here.
They've got to figure it out.
First raised the idea of Australia being a fake country, as in it doesn't exist. So if it doesn't exist, where in the hell are you right now, Davin?
I'm in another dimension. You don't want to know.
Here's the post. Most of you have probably been brought up believing in the imaginary land called Australia. Whatever this person was partaking in from a recreational substance.
We can't be real, man. You've seen the animals that are here. No one would believe that shit. A platypus? What's a platypus? A cross between a duck
Tasmanian
and an yeah, come on. A kangaroo? Like how an animal that bounces around? Come
cassowary?
On. Cassowary.
Oh, yeah. You're not even going to survive. You wouldn't even be alive if there were really cassowaries. Have you seen the feet on those things?
Yeah, they're angry. You don't want to come face to face with a cassowary. They will. They will mess you up.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, I don't even know what to tell you because you can't outrun one.
Yeah, they're like the most territorial bird, I think. Or something like that.
Yeah, it's the most dangerous bird. There's videos.
Yeah.
So, no, it's asking me to sign up. I don't want to sign. Okay, so it says, well, the fact is that Australia doesn't really exist. Everything you have ever heard about it was made up, and any pictures of it you have seen were fake by the government. I am sure you have even talked to people on the internet who claim to be from Australia. They are really secret government agents.
Mm-hmm. Pays good too.
It's not real. It's a hoax made for us to believe that Britain moved over their criminals to someplace. In reality, all these criminals were loaded off the ships into the waters, drowning before they could see land ever again. What in the people actually believe this?
Yeah.
So much so that people printed, like they actually typed it into an article.
You know, maybe it was started by Australians. We just don't want people to come here anymore.
Hey,
you know,
to tell you what. Okay, so then it says it's a cover-up for one of the greatest mass murders in history, made by one of the most prominent empires. Australia is not real. It's a code word for the cold-blooded murder of more than 100,000 people, and it is not okay. We will not accept this. Stand up for the ones who died. Let it be known that Australia does not exist. This person,
so like all the times that you went to Australia, where the hell did you end up? That's what I want to know.
Am I an agent?
Maybe. You're a secret agent. You're
I don't know. Hold on. I need to check my passport now that maybe like my passport is like now all of a sudden like maybe my stamps aren't real. Maybe they've all gone away.
Is New Zealand real to these people though? That's the question. You know.
That's Paris, Fiji.
No, you're just showing off.
No, I know. I wasn't doing that on purpose. Here we go. Yeah. Wow. You know what? 2012 is when I first went to Australia 8 years ago. That's when it was. And it's not, and that's the only time. So this is weird. Australia's not stamped my passport.
Doesn't exist, man.
Listen, I've been to Australia more times than I can actually remember.
And what, they're not stamping your stuff?
It's the only one right there. 2012, Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
Can I export Stan Walker to American? Or is he fiction? Who's Stan Walker?
Stan Walker.
Mark, you gotta give us some context, brother. I don't know who Stan Walker is. Now,
he's a recording artist.
Okay. So see, now
But he's Australian born, but he's New Zealand. He's a New Zealand recording artist.
Hey, would you like to tell the listeners the name of the most popular folk artist in Australia?
The most popular folk artist in Australia?
Folk music.
Are you talking about? You're not talking about the Australian artist with an American accent, are you?
No, I'm talking about the Australian artist with an American name. You don't know, really?
With an American name?
Yeah. Shane Howard.
He must be
Type
big.
type it in.
Shane Howard.
Brother, he's got some pipes on him. He's absolutely, hey. He was also in the band Guyana.
Guyana.
Don't act like you don't know who.
I know the band Guyana. Okay, well, I don't know them well enough to know each member. He's 65. He's been around. Guyana was a great band.
He's a legend.
Guyana was a great band.
And Shane Howard is his name. He actually owns. That's why my handle is the Shane Howard, because he took Howard.
it. Yeah.
I can't even get ShaneHoward.com. I had to get TheShaneHoward.com. I'm sure he's pissed because now he's like, who in the hell is this Shane Howard coming to Australia doing all this work? And now why is he showing?
Yeah.
Because I show up, like I get random things on my social media. Like I've had people tag me. I've had people tag me in his articles.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a big deal.
I've never had any problems with my handle. Let's be honest there.
Hell no. I've never. If you meet another human being that you're not related to, you're related.
Yeah, I know. I've had a few random sky getters just connect with me on Facebook.
Oh man, they're Russian.
Yeah,
trouble.
they're family.
Yeah, they're not real.
No. This is they connected back in the time when Facebook wasn't yet an evil,
a toxic cesspool.
Yeah, cesspool of fraudulent behavior and election influencing garbage. There's a new documentary out that I am very interested in on Netflix. Dilemma. Yeah, have you seen it?
No, but it's not.
It's not news.
It's not new. No. So again, I don't know how to put this any other way to put it. This is what I've been telling everybody when it comes to Facebook ads for the last 5 or 6 years. I've been telling everybody this stuff. And that's really, so now that I've told you that, you're going to look at it differently than most people go and look at it. Most people who don't understand Facebook ads and marketing and those kind of things, look at it and they're going to think, oh my God.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I've had conversations with my friends about it where I say, I'm torn because I know it's evil, but it works for me.
Yeah.
So, like,
is it evil though?
Well, it's evil.
Okay,
man. If you are peddling,
I'm going to give you the flip side.
This is. I want to talk to you about this because
let's talk.
This gets into a very American thing, which I happen to really support, which is complete and utter freedom of speech, freedom to offend. But it's getting more and more. It's getting more and more complicated, and it's getting more and more. What's the word I'm looking for?
It's propaganda.
But I mean, like defending free speech in its fullest purpose and intention is becoming problematic because of social media, where you can start to see that some speech control can actually have a benefit. It's kind of like, the freedom of the press was about keeping governments and keeping let's just say keeping governments accountable, and it's flipped now where we are trying to stop hate speech by controlling speech to some level. And I see the benefit of that in society, but I also see governments and people like your current president using new speech control laws to their advantage. So it's problematic.
Yes. Okay. So I'm glad you brought this up actually. So I have a solution for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we had, so I'll use America for example. If you are an elected official and you make a public statement, so that means anything on record, right? Whether it's to a reporter, whether it's a post on social media, whether it's a retweet, whatever. And it is false or it is a lie, or you make a statement that is a lie, it should be prosecutable and and a removable offense to do it, and it would stop. So
I'll
it's
take
not
that
about
idea
freedom of
further.
press. There's a difference in freedom of press. There is a difference in freedom of speech, and there is a difference of absolute bold-faced lying and spread conspiracy theories and just making up shit.
Yeah. I'll take that theory one step further. I think that, and I've talked with some mates about this quite a bit, I think that there should be a level of influence that any individual has, that as soon as they cross a threshold in terms of audience, they become a publisher, and they're considered a publisher, and they have certain rules that they have to abide by. So if you have 10,000 followers, like if you've got 50 followers, they can't police everybody, right?
Well, yeah.
But if you've got content that's reaching a mass audience, then you have a level of influence that is beyond just you talking crap with your friends, right? So you have a responsibility once you pass the threshold,
yes,
to be fact checked, and like you said, to be penalized if you are pushing. Even if you're sharing Russian content, you open yourself up to prosecution to some way. Or like you said, it's maybe it's work within the platform, but
I don't know. Like if you knowingly do it, right? If you know, like if you come out and you say this, and this, and it is a lie. Now people are going to say, well, you can't judge intent. No, I can judge intent because we can prove what you were told in a private meeting before you walked out here and said whatever you were going to say. There has to be some sort. Here's my kick, right? Here's my kick on all of this stuff, right? Whether it's a local politician, a state politician, a federal level politician, anybody. If you are a public figure, even me, hold me accountable. Hold me accountable. Right? If you, hey, Shane, you know what, Shane? People know who you are. You have a following. We're going to hold you accountable, right? That is all I ask, is accountability. And what I will tell you, in America, what we have to get over is we have to get over the fact that I have to kiss the hind end of whoever is elected office, because that's what happens, right? You'll see, you look at my state or my city. I feel bad. I feel bad for like my mayor, right? He lives down the street, right?
Yeah.
I feel bad for him because there is no way that he actually enjoys most of his social interaction trying to figure out who in the hell is actually being genuine and trying to get to know him, or trying to, like, whatever, right? Who wants to go to, have lunch with him so they can post about it and said they went, or they can go back and tell their friend. Like, I don't like, I don't like, so
I think that's where what's interesting is I think that's one of the differences between our countries as well, is that you guys, and I think rightfully, you celebrate success and you guys revere people at the top of their game. Not always, but for the most part, if you're successful, you are celebrated. Here, it's the opposite. We love you when you're the underdog, and then as soon as you're successful, we're on your back. We're on your back.
That happens here too.
Yeah,
I think that's normal human behavior. Of they want to play a part, like they want to have some ownership in building you up.
Of your success. Yeah.
And then the moment they don't relate to you, or the moment you don't, because now it goes back. So that's different, right? So there's different levels to that. Whereas if I'm an athlete or if I'm a celebrity, then yeah, that's my right. And you don't own me, right? As an elected official, you work for me.
Yeah, that's right. And we're a bit more around.
I should not have to feel uncomfortable asking you a question. Like I'll be honest, right? This isn't and this, I don't even mean this to be like, I would mean this no matter who the president of the United States was. I have seen our current president, when asked a question, completely cut off and tell a reporter, stop talking. Don't talk to me. Excuse me.
You're a bad reporter.
Excuse me. Like, No one would do that anywhere else in the world of someone who worked for them.
Mm.
And that's unacceptable, right?
Yeah.
If your highest level of whoever, wherever in sports, if you're the best player, if you're the highest paid actor, if you're the CEO, you are going to catch 99.9% of the flack.
Mm.
So what,
Mm.
I mean, like, accountability. I just want accountability. I don't
Mm.
care what political party you're in.
Mm.
I want accountability on both sides.
Yeah.
If you're a liar, if you're a criminal, expose it.
Mm.
I mean, there's a lot of
He,
things we could.
he's successfully undermined the credibility of the media, and at the
He's
right time.
successfully undermined a group of people that he figured out through Facebook ads
Mm.
of
Yeah.
how they could be manipulated.
Yeah.
And you know, it's that's the reality of it, right? So here's the thing.
Is Mark Smillo an American or an Australian? Smilo.
That's what I was talking about. The music guy.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he raises a good point. We have the same issue here. It's two parties.
Yeah. Well, so here's the thing. Donald Trump isn't even a Republican.
No, he was a Democrat for such a long time. Not that he's the first person to make the switch, but
yeah, he made the switch so that otherwise he'd never been on the ballot to run.
That's right. Exactly.
And all these people who buy into it and they think that like I mean, brother, there are people here that believe that God put him in place.
Yeah. And you cannot argue. You can't argue with that
in your head you have to be to believe that.
Yeah. And you can't argue with that logic. Like once they've made that decision, what could you possibly say to convince them
Nothing.
that God was wrong?
That person is mentally not stable.
Yeah.
They don't know how to rationale common sense. You can't explain that to someone.
Something that happened here politically.
On either side, I would say the same way if a Democrat was there and someone said, Jesus put this person in place. No.
Yeah.
You couldn't be so far off base.
It seems really unlikely that we'd ever get someone like Donald Trump because the party is the person that chooses their leader. But what happened here is that our Senate, all these like high profile individuals just started throwing their hat in the ring for the Senate. So all these senators just became just full of independents, whereas normally they'd be one part or the other. So we had all these senators, still do, that are independents, that are really they're the gatekeepers for the new laws and for progress and change. And in many ways it was good, but in many ways it was bad because it just shut down. You just had to work really hard to convince these people.
And here's my thoughts on this, right? I got no problem with anybody voting as I was a registered Republican up until 6 months before the 2016 election.
Yeah, right.
Okay. I'm not a Democrat. I've never voted for a Democratic president. Still to this day have not. Okay. So what I can say is the problem is there's no accountability. If you vote for someone, okay, let's say this is easy because it doesn't offend anybody and you don't actually live here. Let's say you live here and you're a Republican. Okay, you're a Republican and you vote for Donald Trump. I got no problem with that. That's your right. That we're a free country. However,
absolutely,
what I do have a problem with is when certain things are blatantly wrong that are said, done, racist remarks are said, you have a responsibility to hold that person accountable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just trying to hold the other party accountable. It's okay. For example, if you found out that I was doing some stuff that morally you did not agree with. We have a close enough friendship that where you would message me directly and you would be like, hey, man, I'm hearing about this, this, and this. And if this is the case, man, we got to fix this and what do we need to do? Because this isn't right. And I want to help you.
Yeah.
Right? That you should be able to hold me accountable. Right? If I love you, the greatest form and expression of loving you is actually telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
100%.
So
yeah, but I think the other side to that, and I completely agree. The other side to that I think is the biggest problem at the moment is that people are choosing a side and then forming their opinions, not having opinions about policy and then going based on that. This is my choice. It's like they're picking a team and they're saying, well, because I'm Republican or because I'm Democrat, therefore I agree with this, I agree with this. And they're not thinking for themselves. They're not saying, hang on, yeah, okay, I tend to lean Democrat or Republican, but I don't agree with that, or I don't agree with that. And maybe this time I might swing. Maybe this time it's gone too far and I need to vote for this guy. It's like we need to teach people to have opinions first and then pick their guy or pick their girl or pick their team. It can't go the other way, because then that person can't be that you can't change their mind if they've already made their decision that they're team red or team blue, because that was the first choice they made.
So part of what the problem is you have one. So you have what I call extremes on both sides, and they make up probably 50 to 60% of each side.
Yeah.
One votes strictly off of because that's what they think that their religious beliefs think they're supposed to do. Another one goes against because they think that the other side is literally out to kill them and wants to ruin everything in their life. Then you have the people in the middle on both sides. Okay? They have a little bit more common sense. They still kind of bleed one way or the other, depending on the thing. But
because you got to pick one. Well, you guys don't. You guys can go, I'm not picking anything.
Yes. So that's the other thing, right? We don't have compulsory voting, right? To where you have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Well, technically, we have to turn up. We don't have to vote. We have to turn up and tick our name off the list, and then I can write whatever I want on the ballot and stick that in.
Yes.
But I have to turn up.
So share with the American folks that are watching this that may not be familiar with that about your voting process. Ours is pretty widely known and it's pretty cut and dry, right? You either vote or you don't vote.
Yeah. So I mean, our system. So I was trying to think of it last week. It's the Westminster system, where the parties elect a leader. We live in a little electorate within our town, within our state, and we vote for our electorate. We don't actually even vote for. Not only do we not vote for the prime minister, we don't vote for. We vote for the leader in our little part of the world, and the more of those that the party gets, they win, right? And we could talk about the electoral college and how it's different to our system, but we have to vote. If you don't vote, you get fined. Well, and like I said, you have to turn up. So, it's like, I don't know. I think it's like $150 or something. So
you can't be put in jail for it.
No. It's a token.
Speeding ticket.
It's a token fine, and a lot of people can get out of them by saying, "Oh, I didn't know," because you register in your little place, and then if you move, you're not there anymore. So you can go, "Oh, I got confused." And but you have to turn up. You queue up. They tick your name off, and then you go to the ballot, and then you do whatever you want. Right? So you've got to vote. You vote for the House of Reps, or you vote for and you vote for the Senate. But where our system, I think, is better than yours. We have because we don't end up with a Donald Trump. Not to say,
let's be fair here. Well, I don't know.
No, our system has its flaws. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. So we have a preference system. Okay, so you don't just vote for one guy or one girl. You order your preferences from 1 to 6, 7, whatever it is. So, and how it works I know the counting must be insane.
God, who does it? It's why it takes you a month and a half to figure out who won.
Yeah. So they'll count all of the first preference votes, and if there's a clear winner, then they win. But if there isn't a clear winner, then they go to second preference votes and see who got the most there.
Well, that could
and then
totally throw everything off.
But the benefit of it is that if you're Democrat or if you're Republican, and the Republican guy doesn't get up, then your vote just goes straight to the Democrat guy. Whereas that's crazy. It should go to the second closest to your political leanings, right? So effectively, the winner of that electorate and then the winner of that state or the winner of the country is generally what the mood of the country is because of our preferential system. It's not a first past the post system like yours where you go,
Wait till I throw you this curveball. So I am a registered independent. Okay. So over here you have to claim a party, and there's a bunch of different parties which is kind of weird because there's a bunch of different parties, but I don't know. Right. It's the American way. America. That's what they say. America. Shit.
America. Let's like Australia.
Yeah, Australia. Yeah, Australia. Yeah, same thing.
Australia.
Right? And the same type of people say both. Right. It's the exact bogans and rednecks say both. Like,
yeah.
It's they're one and the same. They're cousins. They're distant cousins. So here in the state of Kentucky, for example, when it comes to midterm elections, so you know what a midterm election is. So
I do.
Or a primary. Okay.
Right. I know what that is.
As an independent, I can't vote in a primary.
No.
So you in the state of Kentucky, you can only vote Democrat.
Well, you're registered. Yeah.
Well, yes. And you can
because you're registered,
your party's
right?
representatives. Now, not every state is like that, but my screwed up state is.
So if you're registered as Democrat, you can't vote Republican.
In the election, you can.
Okay.
But not you don't have
you don't get the right to contribute.
You don't
in
have a say who the representative is, which I don't know that I agree with.
Yeah. Because I think I said this to you last week, maybe. I get the electoral college system and why it exists, and I think it's a good thing. What I don't understand,
it's worked for a long time.
But what I don't understand is if I win one of the states by one vote, I get that whole state. I get all of the electoral votes, right?
Yep.
That doesn't seem right to me. I should get my share. So if I win one state by 90% and I lose a state with the equivalent amount of votes by 1%, surely I'm the winner because
I mean 2 million more people voted for Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump.
And I get that that's not necessarily a good indicator that she had the whole country's support. But where I think the system falls over is Donald Trump's he's winning entire states, but he's winning by a small margin. And then she's absolutely killing him elsewhere and not seeing the benefit of that as much because when you add up, because you're giving the entire state to that person. I think you get the percentage of the state that you, and still have the smaller states have a higher value because you're trying to even things up.
Well, I don't know if I'll see it in my lifetime, but it will change. It will? It will change. Yeah.
Because I just think it's unfair too much the other way. I think you got to even it out a little bit. I get that.
I think we need to have an official recognition of an independent party.
Yeah.
Because there's not that, right? Like there's not a chance we're nowhere near an independent winning. I mean, we'd have to have a Russian agent running on a Democratic Party and a
North Korean
agent running on the Republican Party for the independent to win. And then you got it. It's a lock. Whoever gets nominated for that is the guy, right?
Yeah.
But and again, I'm no political science major. I'm no politician. I'm just Shane, who's traveled the world, who tries to apply common sense. I'm sure somebody's going to blaze me for some of these comments at some point, but lobbying has to go away.
Yeah. Well, it has to. Maybe there's just a limit on the amount.
There is a limit. There's a lot of these different things. It's a joke. we are
Yeah,
purchasing,
yeah,
the,
100%.
and
Like
it's bad. It's bad.
yeah, the people with all the money are dictating the outcomes, and that's, I don't know.
Yeah, 1% of the
I don't want to
people.
sound. I don't want to sound socialist to your community, because that's not what I am. I'm certainly
Yeah.
a
Well, I
capitalist, but
mean,
I
the
think,
reality of it is what it is. If you're aware of those things happening, so but it will change
yeah,
though. All that being said, America's a great place,
100% love the joint.
but um, if I if I were to move anywhere, Australia would certainly be at the top of the list, and
Behind New Zealand.
or New Zealand. Yeah, New Zealand. I recently found a YouTube series. I don't know. It's probably on TV. Actually, I know it's on TV in New Zealand.
Mm,
Um, where they're like showing these home restorations or these home builds, like these crazy architecture builds in New
mm,
Zealand. They have a
mm.
series of it in Australia as well. Grand Designs, I think, is
Yeah,
what
so
it's called.
that was a UK TV show first.
Ah, well, so y'all stole it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, we stole it. We stole it. New Zealand stole it,
Kind of like
and
everything else.
typically, New Zealand's is better. Their version is better than ours. They do everything better than us. That's why we steal all
So
their best.
I have to ask. So there's a New Zealand show. So if you have a child listening, I'm gonna keep this PG-13 if I can, just so a heads up for anybody who is watching this at this point. There is a show that I'll never forget. I turned on the TV in Christchurch, New Zealand, and it's a dating show, and it's in New Zealand. Now, I don't think it made its way to Australia. I'm guessing from what little research I've done, it's only in New Zealand, but it is a nude dating show. And now, listen, now hear me out. Now, our viewers are probably getting ready to skyrocket. So there's science behind you picking a mate based on seeing them naked before you interact.
Right.
And there's science that you stay together longer, you're happier. And I'm talking about like features, male and female, below the waist, above the waist, the whole bit. Right. And I'm not talking about supermodel and,
No.
Captain America or Thor walking around. We're talking about all everyday human beings. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what the show is let's say if there's a female who is, now she's clothed and she's the I guess they're all participants on the show, but she's like the chooser, whatever the name for that person is.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 4 different or 5 different colored walls. And round 1, the colored wall goes up to their waist. And then they walk around and they talk about what they see and they show it and they make a pick. And then the second round, it goes up to their neck. And they do a male version of this and a female version of this, and it's pretty wild, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, it starts to make you think about all the fluff and bullcrap that we put in the way.
It makes you think. Like, you should ask your wife.
Yeah.
Like, if you would have
would you pick me? Would you pick me out in a lineup?
Oh man. Hey, but they say there's some science. Like you're X number of times more likely to stay together. Like you're happier. I guess maybe because it takes out of all the.
I mean, there's definitely something about what you choose physically. We put certain physiques and people on a pedestal in media, but I think in the real world, everyone has tastes and has things that they can't explain. They're like, I like this in a person, or I like this shape, or I like this thing, and it's you can't really put a finger on it. And your best mate can be standing right next to you, going, "What are you talking about?" And they don't see the same thing.
So I've definitely had friends, and I'm looking and thinking, what in the hell are you thinking? Hey, look, no, hey, and the other way I've been thinking, what in the hell are you thinking? She's not going to give you the time of day. Like there is
Yeah.
not a chance. And are
Yeah.
you out of your you? How
Yeah.
much? What have you been drinking? Like what
And
is?
yeah. And look, I'm all for ambition, but you got to be realistic sometimes, you know.
Um. Hmm. Hmm. I had an interesting question.
Okay.
So the grand finals, they're coming up. AFL
Hmm.
footy. For
Hmm.
those of you that have been watching,
Yeah.
Wellington, New Zealand looks pretty amazing. Mark Smilo, Wellington, New Zealand is amazing. So let's actually get to this before I get to that. So Wellington, New Zealand is amazing. So I have a question before I tell my story about my first trip into Wellington, New Zealand.
Hmm.
Was it my first trip? May No, my second. Actually, my first two trips to New Zealand, to Wellington, New Zealand, were both absolutely traumatizing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Have you flown into Wellington, New Zealand?
No. I'm
All
pretty
right.
sure I flew into Auckland and I flew into
All right.
Queenstown.
So while I'm telling the story, I want you to YouTube a video and look up flying scary flights into Wellington. So let me explain to you. Let me lay this out for you.
Hmm.
I'm flying from Christchurch, New Zealand into Wellington. And there's
Hmm.
a so Wellington sits in kind of like a bowl, right? Like
Yeah.
it's down in a bowl of like hills and I'd say mountains, but definitely hills.
Mm.
The house, like the whole town, is like a big hill. Like it's all a big city. It's a hill on a city. And man, we flew in,
Mm.
and when I tell you that, so the plane should fly in like this.
Hmm.
When I tell you the plane flew in like
Oh
this,
man. Yeah, that's scary.
and it had like it was a propeller plane,
Oh
we
man, even
landed
worse.
sideways. I am not exaggerating at all.
So
I
can the
have
wheels turn?
well, look, I don't. Hey, well, if they didn't, they did. Because you'll see when you look up videos, whoever's
I'm watching the
watching this,
videos now. I'm
yes,
watching- yeah, so
absolutely,
look how choppy the water is.
brother. I, I'm gonna be okay. So I'm gonna be transparent. I love New Zealand, Wellington. I have friends in Wellington, so I love you guys.
Oh.
There's a place there you can go eat called Lamb Banjo, and they do a lamb roast, potato salad. It's a whole like a little off out of town, beautiful place. But my first ever trip there, we were in an RV.
Mm.
The RV completely lost all the oil in Auckland. We were going to a dump station to dump our wastewater. All the oil literally is everywhere. They had to put it on a flatbed of a truck. I had to drive it around the corner with no oil and probably destroyed the engine. It's been years now, so it is what it is. Destroyed the engine so that we could get under a bridge so that they could get it on the flat. Otherwise, they wouldn't have went under the bridge to get back to where we were going. Got back. Maybe the scary. I gotta have somebody. I gotta have one of the guys on sometime that was with me to tell this story. So all of our
Oh.
stuff is in this RV and it's sitting on this big flatbed like this. I'm talking to a guy. He's like, "Oh, what happened? Like this." And there's like you're middle of the CBD. There was like a nice, cool little place you could park that had showers and bathrooms. Great RV place right in on the CBD on the bay. All of a sudden, I see the RV go as fast as can be. My heart stopped. All I could think about is this traffic flying by in our RV, just and everything we have, clothes, food, just getting destroyed.
Oh,
But he
God.
had it on like a winch, but he let it go too fast. Oh man, he caught it. He caught it, but terrified.
Oh
So
man.
this is all a true story. I had to leave the RV there for the
Mm.
RV company. We had to take everything off of the RV, put it in bags and garbage bags and all this, and get on the ferry because we were going to the South Island. So we had to go put it on the South Island, go down, and we we get on there, right? Yeah, might want to buckle up. Water's a bit choppy. Oh, no, 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 no. If you want to see something else scary, look up Wellington Ferry bad weather. Have you ever seen the show Deadliest Catch?
Yes.
It is that on a ferry.
That's
because
crazy.
there's a wind tunnel that the wind is ridiculously crazy in between the South and North Island.
Oh man,
Davin, when I tell you, thank everything that is holy that I had some motion sickness stuff.
Oh man,
I popped so many of them that I passed out. I literally I was slobbering. I was just asleep. The guys woke me up like, "Hey, we're here." Guys, you can hear people puking. Like, you go down, cars are shifted and moved everywhere.
Oh shit!
Oh man, it was.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have my sea legs are terrible.
Oh, let me tell you something.
Mine are bad.
I've yet to take the ferry on good weather coming across. Man.
I'd be throwing up everywhere. I'll tell you a story. I had a friend who did it for his Bucks party. He had a fishing charter.
A Bucks party. Share what a Bucks party is. So
Bucks party is what do you guys call it? A bachelor party.
Yeah.
Bachelor party.
Yeah, bachelor party.
So about to get married. So he did a fishing charter during the day, and then we had dinner and drinks later on. Anyway, like as soon as I stepped on the boat, and we're in the Port Phillip Bay in Melbourne, which is like not ocean. It's like it's still pretty still, and I'm already like, oh god. So I spent the entire time on the boat hanging over the edge of the boat, and there was about 3 of us just lined up, and I'm just like, don't throw up, don't throw up, don't throw up, don't throw up the whole time. Just like I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And the guy next to me, the guy who I worked with, he eventually just vomited, right? So he's just throwing his guts up on the side of the boat. And I'm like just trying not to look at him, trying not to listen to him. And then he turns to me after he vomits and he says, I actually feel a lot better. And the wind just blew his breath into my face. And I just went straight over. I'm just like, bam.
Oh. So if you're
he was
watching,
wrong. I didn't feel better.
Yeah, so if you're watching and you want to actually see some videos, it's called the Cook Strait is the area, and the largest, so 19 meters. How many feet is 19 meters?
19 meters. So there's about 3.1 feet per meter.
This is going to happen.
So what's about 65?
62.3.
That was close.
That's the largest wave ever recorded come slamming down on a ferry boat. 62 feet.
And it was in that strait?
Yes. Let me explain something to you. Ferry passengers, there may even be, ferry passengers endure Cook Strait, 7 meter high. It's 21 feet, maybe 22 feet. That's tall.
Yeah, my God.
Let me tell you something.
Oh,
I'm not even playing when I tell you. So here's the rest of the story. This is where it gets crazy.
You'll never see me on that boat ever.
I will.
I will. It won't happen.
Because we're going to go and we're going to make a documentary.
Crossing.
In an RV. We're going to go across both islands and we're going to make a documentary.
3 hours. Like I would rather have 12 hours.
No. 3 hours. Where do you see 3 hours at?
This video says 3 hours to cross.
Yeah. That's when the weather is decent. You don't make it in 3 hours. 5 hours is what it took us one time.
Oh, shit.
Yes, brother. Brutal. Oh, so listen. So we didn't have an RV. We get all the way into Picton, New Zealand. Sick as a dog. Just raining, cold. We were just done. And the day is just getting started. We then got to leave all our stuff in the station and walk around Picton waiting for an RV to get brought up through Christchurch.
Not a hope in hell. There's no chance. I'm not getting on that boat.
Are you watching the video?
I'm watching the video.
Oh man,
There's not a look at the cafeteria. There's just food all over the floor.
Oh man, hey, listen. I promise. I promise. I know.
Oh yeah, there's all the cars. Oh, all the camper vans that are all crushed. Not a hope in hell, man.
Oh man, hey,
there's a bus that's just squashed all these cars.
Yeah. Now again, you can time it, and you can know if the weather's good, you're okay, right? It's fine. Beautiful scene. When you finally get through the Cook Strait and you're pulling in, beautiful scene. You can go outside. Yeah, beautiful.
Surely not.
It is. Oh man. So I've had this experience multiple occasions, and I've had the experience of flying in. I cannot even explain to you how terrified I was on the plane and on a boat.
Yeah. But was that in the same trip?
No. I have now. I will say that I have 100% set a rule that I will not fly into Wellington.
Yeah.
I won't do it. I couldn't imagine being on a big plane and that happened. I probably would have just jumped out and just called it a day because my nerves, my stomach. Oh my gosh, brother, it was brutal. It was brutal. So,
flying into Queenstown was, I mean, because it's surrounded by mountains as well. That was,
but this wind coming off the water and
the wind coming off the water.
There's videos of it.
I was watching that as well.
Like
it's just planes pulling out. It's just going nut, and they just take off again.
Yeah, they won't even attempt it. Yes,
they won't even attempt it. Not a chance.
They'll keep touching and going. Like they'll yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, my stomach's in knots right now thinking about it. That's how. Yeah. Now it's an amazing place. I'm not trying to scare anybody away from it. Just don't fly in. You can fly out. You can fly out of Wellington. But if you fly in, do not eat a heavy meal before you go. You will I reached for the barf bag on a plane that I can say in all of my travels all around the world, I've never done anywhere else.
Really? Oh man, I'll tell you a barf bag story. I can't even remember where I was coming in. I think I was coming back in to Melbourne from Sydney, and we were on Tiger, which is the budget. Well, it was. I don't think it's survived COVID. But we're coming in, and it was bumpy. There was heaps of turbulence, and the guy next to me, I hear it. It's like, boop, boop. I'm like, oh, no. So he starts,
for me.
He starts going for the sick bag. There was no sick bag. They hadn't stocked. So he's like checking, and I'm checking. So that our whole row is like, get this guy a sick bag. I start hitting the hostess button. Like I'm just hitting it, and they can't get up during the landing. So, so the guy, he pulled out the in-flight magazine, and he opened it up, and he just shoved in it, and it just went everywhere. And I'm just like leaning over the side. And then we finally touched down. I felt for him, but there was just vomit everywhere. And the hostess comes running up.
I would have went in the pocket in the back of the seat.
Yeah. She's like, oh, we can't get up in the landing. And I'm like, well, enjoy the cleanup because you didn't put sick bags anywhere in this plane.
But I'll be honest, I don't know that I've ever really seen them on many planes. Like, so
now
that I think about it, they handed them out on this flight.
Yeah, right.
I should have known at that moment. I just thought I'm in New Zealand. Like, hey, this is now. I will say, New Zealand also has some of the best airline safety videos on the planet.
Yeah, they're good. They're very good.
Yeah, the theme like the Lord of the Rings and Men in Black and easily they could. I don't know if there's an award for those. They should win an award every time.
Yeah, they're good.
But, man, they handed out bags, and I thought, no big deal. They also handed out a nice piece of candy, too. Little did I know.
That emotion sickness
almost came back up. And I sat, of course, again, I've flown so much. So, like, I had first pick, right? So I picked the very first row. I'm and the lady behind me, I'll never forget. We landed, and the guy who was with me, I won't say his name, but he's with me, and we're sitting there, and like he's like white knuckled holding the seat, and I'm just sitting there like this, just like. And this lady reaches up in between the seats, and she puts her hand on my shoulder. And she's like, "We're safe." And I turned around and looked back at her, and I said, "Ma'am," I said, "I'm gonna be honest with you. It was touch and go there for a minute, and I didn't know if any of us were gonna be safe." And she's like, "Oh, this must be your first time." I said, "And my last time as well. This is yes, it is not." She's like, "Oh yeah." She goes, "We come here all the time." And I was like, "Well, good for you, because I'd be buying a boat because this is not how I get down."
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's no
Wellington, New
good.
Zealand, flying into Wellington. You got to YouTube it, watch some videos. I'd love to hear any of you that actually watch this show, and then because there's probably nobody actually going to listen or watch this, but at any point in time in history, if Davin ended up doing 14, if we end up doing more episodes than Joe Rogan on this, and you ever listen to this and you're like, "Oh yeah, I want to hear about it," just tag me in a story somewhere on social media, because I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
I want to hear about it. So before we wrap up here, do you have anything else before we get to footy? Do you have anything you wanted to cover?
I think the other couple of ideas I had to cover we'll save, because they're probably bigger than a wrap up idea. But I want us to start talking to business and mental health. I want to talk about
I think we can mix it all in there. We got pretty heavy with politics, and I don't want to scare everybody away.
No, not in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, no.
We'll get.
Well, we'll keep. I'm liking this though.
Yeah.
This is really. I think the word is cathartic. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a good way to start the week for me.
The right
I
word?
like it.
Cathartic.
Cathartic.
Psychological
Cathartic.
relief through the open expression of strong emotions. So yeah, it allows us to kind of get friends to have a conversation to share with the world and spark other conversations, because we've already brought. So Whit lives in the United States, but he's from China, and Mark is from the United States, and clearly nobody from Australia gives a shit. So it's early in the morning for them.
It's an awkward time. A lot of people did reach out to me during the week.
Tell them to leave a comment when they watch it.
Big shout out to the Hornet. We'll get him on. He's
the Hornet.
Yeah.
It sounds like where's he from?
He's from Melbourne. He's from Melbourne.
He's probably from Boleyn.
No, I think I don't know where he lives now. I think he might. He's spent a lot of time in Paran, so
Warragul.
So he might still live there.
The amount of random places I can rattle off is it shouldn't even.
Boleyn. Well, that's the thing, because of the sport of basketball, you would have just been hitting every suburb in this city. Southeast, you would probably know the southeastern corridor of suburban Melbourne better than I would. That's not true. I played a lot of basketball down there.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. I gave a seminar one time in a daycare room in the middle of a gym. So I do want to share this. So I got a good story here. And maybe we'll have him on sometime. So you know Eltham, right?
I do know Eltham.
Really nice club. Very
big club.
Well-respected club.
Big club. I think. Well, at some point, whether it's still true or not, the biggest basketball club in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
At some point, they were. I don't know if it's still true.
Nice facility.
Yeah.
Financially stable. Good neighborhood.
Yep.
Also of note, the first neighborhood that I saw Ruse for the first time. Me and Greg Wallace had a lunch, our very first time meeting, and he was like, "Yeah, if you just drive out past the shopping center here and just keep driving out to where the wineries are, you'll see them."
Yeah, it's bushland. Eltham, very green.
We saw them. Showed up one day to give a talk. Greg Jeffers, magnificent bloke. Works I've never seen somebody work as hard as he does and care about his job. Yeah. Magnificent bloke. Hey, Shane, we're going to do a seminar here. We've got people pre-registered. Big crowd for these seminars. Big crowd. Show up. School's got fencing going all around it. Yeah, sorry about that. Can't do it in there. They put us in a closet. On one side, they had things turned upside down and trophies lined up in this closet. There was no air conditioner, and it was in January.
Because that would have been the tournament. The
so there's basketball going on everywhere.
Yeah.
Hot. I'm in jeans and a polo.
Sweating.
When I tell you it is the closest I've ever come to just stripping down and just being like, hey, you know what? We all in here want to do it, so let's just do it, and we'll all just be on the same page. When it was done and there were questions and people wanted to talk, I was like, hey, let's move this outside, but I guarantee you it's cooler outside than it is in here.
Yeah, it would have been.
So I've given some talks in some random neighborhoods in Casey. I did one in Casey, way out at in a daycare facility I've been put in some random places.
I can imagine.
Premiership. Grand final.
Mm-hmm. You would have to say on form, there's a very good chance. You look.
We have to make a wager.
We don't have to do anything.
Oh, because, Izzy, when you watch this, because I'm sure you will, and you are the one who turned me on to AFL and being a footy fan, I'm going to need you to probably either make a delivery of a Richmond jersey over to Davin so we can get some pictures, or if we solidify this bet, I'm going to have to, I guess, have a jersey sent to me, or I got to find one somehow on eBay or something to squeeze into.
Wait. I mean, what you're proposing, I mean, it would be a stupid bet for me to make.
Yeah, I agree.
To say that you guys
I agree.
I give I gave my team an outside chance until one of our best players not only decided to have a baby in the middle of September, he also decided this week after having the baby he's not coming back to the team. So
he did not decide to have a baby in September. First of all,
he's an AFL footballer.
Now, Davin, you have kids.
You know very well. You know very well.
Is footy going on in September usually?
Yeah, it's called finals in September.
Okay. Yeah, he messed up.
So you do some planning, all right?
Yeah, but
I know that a lot of people, don't have a lot of control, but you have complete control to not have a baby in September.
I agree.
You can choose not to.
So he's
not coming back. So if he's decided, listen,
we had two players decide it was okay during the middle of a pandemic to go hang out at a strip club and get into a fight.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I get it.
I tell you,
I'm making excuses.
Look, I see that as just a couple of Victorians trying to help the Gold Coast economy. They're getting out and they're putting some good Victorian money.
They were taking up for somebody. They were taking up. They were doing their social justice.
Did you see the video of the fight?
Yeah, I saw it.
That wasn't their fault.
Yeah,
they were just trying to have a kebab, but they were out. That was their fault. They went to a strip club.
Some bogans in the Gold Coast.
What are they thinking, man? Yeah, what were they thinking?
I don't know. So we're basically on the same page that Richmond's going to win it all. Are you on record as a Collingwood fan saying you agree with that?
Yeah, because
I'm
a logical human
Collingwood fan. Then
I'm a logical human being. I'm flying the flag for Collingwood supporters, saying some of us are reasonable. Some of us.
Some of you are decent humans.
Some of us are decent. We can look at all the evidence and make a decision based on logic, not on stupid emotion.
You're respected members of society.
I think Port Adelaide will push you guys. I think West Coast, if West Coast was healthy, which they're not, but I think if West Coast was healthy, they'd push you guys as well. But they tend to play. They tend to play better at home. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for you guys. But I think you'd have to say, based on form,
a walk in the park.
Based on form, I mean, Brisbane. If Brisbane make the grand final, and the grand final is in Brisbane, they're going to be so nervous that you guys are going to put them away in the first quarter. That's my prediction. They're a young team. They've never been
Do they even play footy in Brisbane?
Yeah.
I mean,
they get crowds, man.
I'm being facetious.
Well, there's a lot of Victorians.
The Gabba.
A lot of Victorians that move
Are they playing at the Gabba? Is that where they're playing the Final Four?
They're playing. Yeah, I think they're playing all those games at the Gabba. No, they're playing some finals in Adelaide and Perth. I think maybe Adelaide
going to get the COVID
and just destroy this whole thing. We're so close.
It's over. See,
so close.
Oh man,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if I were, that's all I'm saying. If you want to stop Richmond winning the grand final, just get the COVID up to Queensland. That's all I'm saying. Get it up there.
No, we're not.
Get an Uber driver to drive straight to Brisbane.
God, just get somebody to hang out with some strip club advertisements out in front of the Richmond Hotel. It's easy. So, okay, so they're gonna win. On a sports note here before we wrap up. It's a hot take, and it's not even been discussed, I don't think, anywhere in the world yet. So I'm about to drop a massive banger.
Okay.
First, when sports are happening, I'm a Richmond Tiger fan. I am loyal to the core. When we play the other popular sport in your country, rugby, I'm an All Blacks fan. Okay. Kia kaha. You see it right there. You see the ball. It finally came in. After a month and a half, it finally showed up.
Yeah. That's good. Month and a half.
Hey, it's all worth it. It's worth it. All Blacks. You see it. Just so happens, we're the best in the world too. Right?
And here's what I respect. Go ahead. Here's what I respect about the game of rugby. They at least have another name for it that's more appropriate to the sport than football. Because like your game, they don't kick the ball, man.
We kick the ball.
They don't. How many times in one game?
Start the game.
How many times in one game?
Multiple.
How many? Multiple? Less than 10?
No, probably 15, 20.
15 times. Here's the question. Is the objective to score the maximum amount of points, does it involve kicking the ball?
So I'm about to drop a major thought process for you here. The all-time leading scorers in the NFL are kickers.
Yes, because there's only one of them in the team, right? There's only one of them in.
We lost your audio. See, Davin didn't want this hot take. The professional audio and video guy just had an audio snafu. He can hear me too. There's an audio snafu. Oh, he's sweating right now. Oh, potential businesses watching. They're like, what is he going to perform under pressure? Clock's ticking down.
Am I back? How's that?
Yeah. You're back.
Like I explained to you, I have a mixer that didn't come with a DC power cable, and it's in the mail. It's been coming from China for about 2 months, so I have to charge it off battery, and the battery's just died. But I had them ready.
You and
I'll just switch them over.
You guys in China aren't on the greatest of relationships right now, so you may never see that charger.
No, I don't know if it's coming.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's coming.
So you were saying, so back to so the kicker, there's only one on a team, but
and that's all they do.
It's only 3 points.
And what's a touchdown? 6?
6, or 1. It's only 3 or 1. So they kick the extra point or the field goal.
So the field. So this is my question.
They are important. You're taking the arrogant Australian way of just totally throwing us in the mud.
Could you not? Could a team not go? You know what? No more touchdowns for us. We're just kicking field goals all game.
Some teams suck so bad, like your Raiders. That's probably how they'll score most of their points.
and they'll win. And then your game will just become the AFL, which is a much better game.
We need two
It's
other people on here for this
if you
argument. I need
if you were
someone. We need to have an episode where we have a retired NFL player and a retired footy player on and have this debate. And I'm gonna have clips queued up that I can play and we can watch. And it's gonna be interesting. So that's an idea. So
I've got there's a guy named Jason who I know well over in America who came to Australia and interned at Basketball Australia, but he's a big NFL guy. I think he's working in an NFL club. He actually messaged me recently and asked me about kickers because he one of the things he had to do was to scope out talent.
Just come over and hang out. I asked you about a kicker in the NFL. He's literally from down the road from you. And you're like, oh, I've never heard of him.
Yeah. What was his name?
Andrew Barry.
Yeah.
Wasn't that him?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Barry? Is he a young guy?
I mean, I'm sure at some point he was.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, when our
Jordan Barry.
Never heard of him.
Made in Australia.
But if you
look at that bloke. Oh, look at that.
That's as Aussie as it gets. Actually, we had a guy working for us who was a college kicker as well, an Australian young fella who. So I might have a chat to him as well.
So I'm going to throw out this.
Throw it.
If the Olympics happen, I'm going to give the only betting advice that I'll give anybody in the world ever.
Yeah.
If you can go ahead and bet right now on the winner of the men's basketball Olympics for next year, you need to bet. And I take no responsibility for this whatsoever. So I'm not actually giving you advice. It's all tongue in cheek.
There's a responsibility for what you're about to say.
But hypothetically, if I were to bet, I would bet on Australia.
I don't think that would be a great bet. Yeah, I mean, you would have.
Okay. Do you want me to share with you why? Because this has not been discussed anywhere in the world right now.
The only way that we would win gold is if America took a really, really average team or didn't play at all.
No, they're going to play.
Who are they taking?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Because they're not going to have the NBA players.
Why not?
So that's a great question. When do you think the NBA season is going to start? So the draft is in November.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the NBA, if they think that there's going to be a vaccine, and I've seen this reported, then they're going to push the start of the season until February or March. They're not going to play 82 games. The NBA finals go up until the end of June anyway in a regular season when it starts in October.
Yep.
It ain't happening. If the Olympics happen, you might have a few NBA players, but it ain't going to be what it can be. Now,
what if they took a break?
You could argue that's going to affect the Aussies as well. But
which it will.
There's no danger in Ben Simmons making the finals of the playoffs next year. Hell, he may not even be on the 76ers next year.
Yeah, but the thing that always happens
are loaded. I'm speaking of this because I believe outright in 3 Olympics from now, you guys beat the United States outright.
3 Olympics, maybe, but what has always happened with our NBA players is they get convinced by their club not to play.
Yeah, I don't think that happens. There's way too much pride on the line. I'm telling you, this is their chance. They know that. They won't show that card until it looks like until the season gets. I'm telling you, if the season gets pushed, and the NBA season is still going on during the Olympics, they may take a break. They may even take a 3-week break, 5-week break in the season.
Who do we have that is legitimate?
Loaded.
Who do we have that is a legitimate take over the game scorer, offensive player?
You don't need it.
Yes, you
Patty
do.
Mills?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And Patty Mills.
You got Patty Mills. You got King Adele. You got Thon Maker. You got Ben Simmons. You got Aaron Baines. You got Matthew Dellavedova.
None of them are scorers.
You don't need it, brother.
You're talking about huge names, and I guarantee you that the offensive responsibility will yet again fall on Patty Mills.
How are we? I literally thought you were going to be all on board with this. I didn't know we were actually going to debate this.
No, I think we'll medal, but I don't think we'll win gold.
Whoa. I mean,
I've been watching Australia play in Olympics and World Championships almost my entire life.
I'm giving a hot take.
And we always struggle in big games to find scores. We should have medaled at the last World Championships. We were in front at halftime in the bronze medal game, and we could not find a scorer. And we don't have a player who can do that. We don't have a player who can take over the game. Paddy is our only offensive-minded player in terms of scoring, in terms of looking to score first. Ben Simmons is not that. He's not an offensive. He's not a scorer. He's not a take the ball and take over the game scorer. Clear the floor and let me work. He's a distributor. He's a playmaker, but he's not a scorer. You wouldn't run offense that ends with Ben Simmons taking a jump shot, 3-point shot, field goal. You get him to create and distribute.
He's a solid 16 points a game.
Yeah, I know, but that's
international play. He's a solid 21, 22 points a game.
And in a bronze medal, gold medal game, we need someone who's going to give us 28, 30. And where's that going to come from? I
don't know that you do, brother. I'm just saying. I realize it's the most unpatriotic thing I can do amongst basketball fans to say. And I've realized it's probably also a slap in the face to some diehard Boomer fans to say, oh, well, you're saying this is only possible if your players don't. Yes. So
yeah, there's no question about that.
Yes.
So if you guys don't take your best team. But, I think the gap is closed between America and the rest of the world. I still think you guys are the best. But I think a big part of the reason why the gap is closed is because the NBA is not a physical league anymore. Whereas international basketball is a physical league.
They've done that on purpose. They've done that on purpose.
For offense and for preservation of bodies and things like that. But
not for preservation of bodies, for appeal to international audience.
Yeah, because there's more dunks, there's more scores, it's more of a fast-paced game. But as soon as you get to international play and there's more physicality, there's more body checking, there's more, you guys don't like it. You don't like it.
We're gonna have Piero Cameron come on here. I want his take.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, he's New Zealand's Olympic head coach going into next year's Olympics.
I'd love to talk to him.
And he's like a brother to me. But I believe, and I won't even mention it to him beforehand. I'll just say, hey, I need you on a podcast to give me a take on one of your rivals. He may opt out because it's Australia that we're asking.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to get through us to qualify as well. Well, they don't have to.
Don't. No, not anymore with the Oceania stuff. Not anymore.
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's an interesting thing. The moment it's available for bet, you and I both are going to go place a $10 bet on our winner for the Olympics of next year's men's basketball. I don't know when it'll be. At some point you'll be able to bet. And we're going to document that bet.
I tell you right now, if Yugoslavia was still a country.
Can you imagine the odds right now, Australia winning? Yeah. A $10 bet would probably pay me, probably pay me $300.
Why wouldn't the NBA pause?
They don't give a shit. Why? They don't care. That game does nothing for them.
No, they don't care.
And who's going to watch? like again, now I'll be honest, I don't know if the Olympics even happen. Who's gonna go?
Well, I mean, they'd have to run it without crowds. What's the latest they could run it? I mean, it is scheduled, right? It's scheduled for August, so they can't.
Yeah, it's August. I mean, if
Can
we
they
have a
move it?
vaccine, now if you have a vaccine, you could say, hey, you're allowed to attend if you have proof that you have a that you took it.
Yeah. Every athlete would have to take it.
Yeah. Oh, every athlete's got to take it regardless. I'm saying fans though.
Djokovic.
Fans though, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'd take it.
I'll take it
Of course.
to go. Although the trial we've had going over here has
hit a snag.
Yeah, it's on hold right now. AstraZeneca.
Is it? Because there was the Oxford one that was paused, but then no, that's back up and running again.
AstraZeneca, I think, is Oxford.
Yeah, that only paused for a few days. That's back up and running again.
No, it's still paused.
A week ago, Oxford and AstraZeneca resumed UK coronavirus vaccine trial. That was a week ago.
22 hours ago, AstraZeneca says COVID-19 trial in US is still on hold.
Yeah, but the same vaccine is being rolled out again in the UK and I think Brazil. It hasn't resumed in the US yet, but
in the I don't know. I don't know. I'm just all I know to do is read what it pops up. I mean, it's America, so I mean, this Russia could have. I don't know. I mean, they have a vaccine. I'm not going to take theirs.
No, I'm not going to take theirs either. Sputnik.
Not a chance. You couldn't.
Not a chance. But if they're rolling theirs out, that's a pretty good study in itself. Not that you trust the data, but I think if Russia has a global health crisis in the next 3 months,
Reuters published a document on Saturday. Yeah.
But it's the same vaccine that the trials have started again.
Double-blind, placebo-controlled, multi-center in adults is on hold.
Have a look at just have a look for Oxford AstraZeneca resume. It resumes the UK coronavirus trial. So they've resumed in the UK, but I don't think they've resumed testing in the States. But it's the same. It was the same stop. So I think they will resume.
So So what you're saying is they're okay with people in the UK dying?
Yeah, but the one case where they had an adverse reaction, they've ruled out that it was the vaccine that did it.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'm not into all that. Like I'm not anti-vaccine at all. Like I'm.
Well, maybe you guys haven't resumed the trial yet because it's just going to get released to the public in about the next week or two, and they're just going to start rolling it out.
Golly, you want to talk about pissed off the rest of the world? Oh my gosh, the most American move possible. Surprise! Come to your local Walmart and pull up your sleeve and drive through and get a shot. Oh yeah, man!
Shot. Oh boy!
Yeah, and then drive. Okay, hold on. Somebody. Oh, okay. So this. Oh, okay. Yeah, he posted something funny. So Anthony, who just I'm not gonna put it up there because it's a bit sketchy, but great guy. So he's a family. He's a father of someone who used our service. Great guy, and he posted. I don't know if you can see. Can you see the comment that he posted there?
Is that on Facebook?
If you look at where we're streaming right here, and click on comments, you should actually be able to see the comments.
I saw some pop
can you
up.
See those? Can you see that?
There we go. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's good. That is very good.
But at least, Anthony, thank you for checking in. We were afraid that no one from Australia would want to hear what we have to say. And today, this episode, we really just kind of flew by the seat of our pants. There was no Davin was probably changing a diaper right before he walked in, so there was a lot of, we're next week though. He says he has some actual things to talk about, and think we said 5, and then we would actually get a logo and a page, a Facebook page, and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah, let's get to 5, and then
Anthony said he watches every week. Make sure you
let's
share
get to
it out, Anthony. Then at least
let's
we
get
have
to
2 people watching it.
let's get to 5 viewers, and then we'll start a page.
5 viewers. We've had 5 viewers. The last one was watched by like
a few hundred.
like 200 or 300.
Yeah, it was good. It's good. I got some good feedback.
Oh well, everybody wanted to know who the hell was the other bald guy with a funny accent on my.
Yeah, I did think about that this week. Actually, there's not a lot of hair in this podcast.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What? You gotta grow the beard out then.
Yeah, but you got to trim it. You got to keep it neat.
Why? I'm locked in my house. Where am I going?
It's a COVID capture device. You got to keep it trimmed and you got to keep it clean.
Listen, for those of you that don't, so I'll share this out. So, for those of you that don't know, we are quarantined at my house right now. Not because of a positive case in our home, but my little one in his preschool was identified as a direct contact from his teacher. So, I'm sure Davin was probably even like coming in today, like is Shane is still going to be alive? Like, like man, imagine that after the first episode.
No, I figured you'd be giving me updates if it was getting a bit hairy.
I'm going to be honest with you though. I'm also the type of guy where if I had it, I'd still be on here and I'd be like, oh God, I think we'd still talk. And
but
I'm not making light of it. I'm not making light of it. Like,
but if you thought you had it, would you get tested?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I think, would get tested only if they thought they didn't have it. Yeah, I'd rather know.
That's the foolish man way of thinking about things. Like, I'm not going to go get my prostate checked, or I'm not going to
just in case
testicular exam because I don't know. Man, you better go get checked.
Because there's a reality, and then there's.
I'd much rather know, and then I can fight it than not know and not wake up one day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's foolish. That's dumb and ignorant. I don't know. That's men ignorance.
Well, but it's fear as well.
Yeah, for what?
Fear does crazy.
What? At least I know, because then I can start getting online and I'm gonna look up every single possible third world cure in the world. I'm like, hey, I need you to send me some of this.
All the good shit comes from South America, doesn't it? Any good
rainforest. Send me these mushrooms. Hey, you guys get this over the counter. Send this to me.
The liver of this animal I've never heard of before. Yeah, just send it.
Yes, give me. I need some stag antler, velvet from New Zealand. I need you to send that over. Like, hey, I'll give it all the world. But yeah, it's a bad thing. Hopefully our flu season's coming around. You guys pretty much knocked the flu season out completely. You guys didn't even have one.
No.
I have a feeling that's not going to be the case here. If I look at my Facebook timeline as any indication of whether or not people are actually taking this serious or not.
Well, this is the people that think that COVID is just like the flu. This year we've had about 22,000 cases of the flu and 32 deaths. We've had 26,000 cases of COVID and more than 800 deaths. So if that doesn't tell you, we've almost had the same number of cases of each and many more deaths than we have for the flu. So,
Eric Goff was watching. Eric is a pretty cool. I'm gonna send you a link to Eric's stuff. So Eric makes bow ties.
Nice.
Like the big fancy, but like he's got a company that's started from something from his grandfather. Great story, great guy. I've had a chance to get to know him a little bit. He probably feels differently about you guys' little get together where you run your horses on running around. So
yeah, is he American based or is he Australian based?
Of course he's American.
Yeah, well, he needs to start sending some of those bow ties out here. I'm sure he does already.
Oh, we might be onto something.
Yeah.
Eric, are you still watching? We might need to. We talking about business. See, now we're talking about business.
I'm ready to make the switch from ties to bow ties. I'm ready. I'm ready to do it.
Yeah, but leading up to the Derby, you guys wear bow ties during during
Yeah,
your
we're
Melbourne
both.
Cup, right?
Some people wear bow ties. Some people wear neckties, normal neckties, long.
The greatest. See, you can't see you guys. You guys throw mud at the Kentucky Derby over there, though. You couldn't say these
No,
are
we
the
don't.
official bow ties of the Kentucky Derby and the Melbourne Cup.
Oh, we've got to have our own. We've got to have our own.
That's what I'm saying. You can't. You
It's
fire
it's
a
an
whiskey over there.
inferior product.
You even y'all do mint juleps.
Kentucky Derby, I'm talking about. What's that?
You do mint juleps at the Melbourne Cup.
I don't know what that is. Have you been to a Kentucky Derby?
You don't know what mint juleps are?
Mint juleps. Is that a type of flower?
Well, it's a plant, mint, like mint. Mint julep is the official drink. Is the official julep, Julip or Juliep? Julep, I think is it.
Okay, it's a cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's the Kentucky Derby. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not a massive alcohol guy.
Look,
but I watched Big Lebowski 2 weeks ago, so I've had 2 solid weeks of White Russians because. Why not?
No wonder you look like shit today. Yeah, you've been on a bender since our last episode. You haven't stopped drinking since the last episode.
In honor of the Sputnik vaccine, I've been smashing the White Russians.
Oh man! All right. Well, let's wrap this up because you got other things going on, and next week we will we'll have a more planned theme. I'll do a watch party a couple times this week for this, so we can try to manipulate the algorithms and get some people to watch,
get some numbers.
But this is fun, man. I'm loving it.
It's good.
I'm loving it. It's kind of all over the place, but I think that's okay.
We'll find our little pocket. We'll find our
We will. Outside of your professional audio mishap over there, hey, this episode went down without a hitch.
I wait in anticipation for my DC cable. It's like one of those 4-pin power things. It's an American product, so they've complicated.
Here we go.
It is a very good product. Sound devices.
Typical Australian. Blaming China and America for your problems.
This never would have happened with an Australian product. That's all I'm saying.
Who's going to make it?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right,
we don't have anybody at the moment.
That's what I was gonna say. Who's gonna make it? Like you got to be careful. See, you guys are in that sticky situation where it's kind of like
you guys just need to get along. America and China just need to get along.
We will. Let's get to December.
Yeah, we're not getting along. Yeah.
Oh, we might get along before y'all do.
Yeah, I think so.
there might come a time to where you guys might have to actually become you might have to become like the 51st state.
I think
the United States in order for us to fix the problem.
Hasn't that already happened?
We could debate that. Oh, that would be a really good episode. Is Australia the 51st state of the United States? You want to talk about pissing people off in Australia? Golly.
Well,
that would.
We've been called that before. So,
have you really?
Oh yeah, that started to get a bit of a run during the Iraq War when we and Britain followed you guys into war, and we said, well, we're just the 51st state. We'll just do whatever you guys want us to do. Which but I'm not saying that I have an issue with our relationship. We love you
guys. on that note,
help us.
Look. Golly, we got our own stuff going on right now here, Davin. We got.
I'm not trying to start a conflict.
Our house is on fire too right now. Like it's.
It's.
We'll be there. We'll be there. Just don't
your West Coast and our East Coast.
Don't escalate it. Don't escalate it any more than it has to be before we don't escalate your problems till we can't get there. We'll show up. We'll be there.
You don't know that. I mean, after 2 weeks of quarantine, it's gonna be an interesting fire season.
No, after I'm curious to see what happens when the borders open up from Australia to New Zealand. I'm curious to Australia to America. I would be willing to bet you there is not an empty seat on a plane
No
coming
way.
to America.
Oh no. Well, after the vaccine.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, brother.
All
Same
right,
time on Sundays, American time, 7:30 p.m. here until we do 3 more of these, and then we'll have a channel where it'll be on my page. It'll be on that page as well. It's on my YouTube page right now. You can check it. Also, if you watch this at any point, at any time, anywhere, drop a comment. If you find something funny, if you think one of us is an idiot, leave that too. And that way, at least we can kind of get an idea of who we need to block on the next one.
No, that's who we need to get on the show. That's what we
I
need to do.
agree. Oh,
We need to walk right into trouble. That's what we need to do. Face first.
I debate for a living. Clay Holderfield, you're watching. I can see that you're watching. So Clay, somebody I graduated high school with. Clay, we're signing off, but click the refresh button here in just a minute. Go back, watch it from the beginning. I'd love to hear what you think. A 2-hour conversation with me and my brother from Australia, Davin Scargetta. Davin, I love you. Best of luck.
Have a good week.
And I'll see you next week.
See you, man.
Cheers.
Bye.